Welcome to another episode of Integrated Science for Upper Grades. Today we are looking at water cycle. When it rains, our surroundings become wet and muddy, but after a few days, our surroundings become dry again. So where does the water on the ground go to? The water on the ground converts into an invisible form that goes up into the sky. This water transforms into clouds, which later fall back to earth as rain. This unending movement of water from the earth into the sky and then back to earth is known as water cycle. Yes, so what is water cycle? Water cycle describes the continuous movement of water above and below the surface of the earth. This represents the various changes water goes through around the earth. This involves the exchange of energy, which leads to temperature changes. It enables water to exist in three different states of matter, which is solid, that is ice, liquid, and gas, which is known as water vapor. So what we are going to look at today, or the objectives we have for this class, is know the physical processes that influence the phase changes of water. This includes evaporation, condensation or transpiration, and then condensation, precipitation. Yes. So what is evaporation? What is evaporation? Okay, evaporation takes place when water changes from liquid to gas phase as it moves from the ground into water bodies into the atmosphere. Radiation from the sun increases the temperature of the Earth's surface, which causes the water on the surface to dry up, as we are seeing in the image. So water from the ground or water bodies moving to the atmosphere. This is caused by the heat from the sun. It changes that state of water from liquid to the gaseous state. So the next thing we are looking at is transpiration. So what is transpiration? Transpiration also has to deal with water vapor from plants and soil into the air. Water vapor is a gas that can be seen, or the small water droplets on leaves during early morning. So water from plants also move into the atmosphere. Yes, so the combined process of evaporation and transpiration comes together to form the evapotranspiration, as we are seeing there. So all transpiration process is part of the evapotranspiration, but not all evaporation is part of the evapotranspiration process. Take note of that. Evaporation from the soil and then transpiration from plants come together to form evapotranspiration process. Let's look at another term we saw: condensation. So what is condensation? Condensation occurs when gas changes into a liquid form. Water vapor changes into water droplets in the atmosphere, hitting clouds and fog. So after these, water has been changed from the liquid state from the ground to the atmosphere as water vapor. It changes into the liquid form, and this change is what we are calling condensation, as water changes from the gaseous state into water droplets, forming clouds. That is a condensation process. What is precipitation? Precipitation is the condensed water that falls to the Earth's surface. This mostly occurs as rain in most parts of the world where we live in. Precipitation occurs as rain. but in other parts it occurs as snow or hail. And so putting all of these processes together, we get the path of the water cycle. So the sun heats water in the oceans and seas, or put together water bodies. This water leaves the surface of the water bodies as water vapor into the air. Sometimes water vapor leaves plants and soil by transpiration or evapotranspiration into the atmosphere. This evaporated water gathers in the atmosphere over a long period to form a large amount of clouds and fog. These clouds condense to form water droplets. This happens because the temperature in the atmosphere is lower than that on the Earth's surface. These water droplets gather and become too heavy and then begin to precipitate or fall as rain, in some countries fog or snow. Precipitation leads to rainfall, and this condensed water fall back to the earth, as we are seeing there. So water evaporates, condense, and then precipitate. Then it runs off into the ground, known as infiltration process, where water enters the ground and then either goes to water bodies or either evaporates into the atmosphere again. Okay, so what have we learned today? We have learned the water cycle is a continuous movement of water on, above, and below the Earth's surface. Certain processes is responsible for the continuous change of the state of water in this cycle, as we have come to know: evaporation, transpiration, condensation, precipitation, infiltration, and surface run of are these processes involved in the cycle. Water is essential, therefore there is a need to conserve it and use it wisely. Thus, our assignment for today is, let's all try and explain how we can conserve water in our homes. Explain how we can conserve water in our homes. That is our homework for this lesson. In our next lesson, we are going to look at the nature of the soil. Okay, thank you very much for watching.